Thank you so much for joining me on the show today, Ajibola. And I'd like to understand what's playing out there at the futures market.
Okay, I thank you very much for having me. So the CBN rolled out the new futures prices for the month of May. In our own view, we think or we have expected this from the last prices that was paid in April. If you notice in April, the April prices they had moved up across all the tenors to the 5 years. Um, in April, CBN paid closely about 300 million in the futures maturity. My own view is that CBN is trying to reduce the monies being paid to maturities in order to just help them reduce their cost funding. Not necessarily ready to move the spot price. I don't think CBN is ready to move the spot price on all these maturities. But I think that in order to cut costs, in order to reduce the cost around the futures markets, they're trying to see how they can play it by increasing the cost of the futures so as to pay less when most of those futures matures. Those are our opinions.
All right, but what does this say about dollar demand and the pressure on the Naira?
The dollar demand would not stop. I mean, the economy is opening back gradually. We're seeing we still have lots of FPI still stuck in the market, still trying to exit the emerging market. They're still bent on exiting the emerging market because of the higher risk that is involved, being that the COVID pandemic is not, they're not seeing any vaccine there soon. So you still see activity pick up, you still see pressure on the FX. Right now, today, the FX market was quite very, very slow. Most of people are on beat with the CBN. CBN is not selling anything yet. So there's still lots of pressure in the FX market, lots of pressure in the FX market. And so we don't see these levels play out for long. One would have to move, either the people buying would have to move their prices, or in most cases, which is what we are likely to see. So the FX market is still very, very tight as it is.
All right, but we see that the central bank also resumed dollar sales to local clients this week as well. But when are we expecting that for offshore investors?
We can say, like I said, we banks have been taking up their bids to the CBN daily, and no sale has been done yet. But hopefully, with the loan that was given by the IMF, we expect that they would open it up and sell a little. Maybe not all at once, but gradually they should be able to ease that market and sell a few to the market from time to time. But maybe not so much at the instance, because there are other sectors of the FX market. If you know, for Nigeria, we have lots of sectors. You have the retail, you have the BDC market, you have the I&E. So there are lots of market that needs intervention right now. So it might have to go in gradually.
All right, but what's your take on the Treasury bills market as well, and what do you see these things going on in the for the rest of the week?
Well, the Treasury bills market, this week there was no OMO. People expected that CBN would probably float OMO, but there was no OMO. So we expect that demand would go high. I mean, the supply has squeezed out across all tenors, especially at the longer end. So we'll continue to see demand. We saw a bit of demand today on the January, February, and March maturities, OMO maturity, especially on the 30th March maturity. We still expect that to continue tomorrow. For people trying to find where to put, for banks trying to find where to put in their cash, their excess cash. So that would probably continue for the rest of the week for the bill. Since there's no supply, I expect rates will go down, will continue to go down. Some of these papers traded around 10.9, 10.8 today. So we expect it to go down further by tomorrow, wake of tomorrow market.